think of Miami, you think of either like the glitz of South Beach and like that sells, right? Like it's sexy. Or you think of like the grit and the grind, a program like First 48 that shows murders and stuff like that. This is a different story. Like this is a different Miami, a Miami that you don't see on TV. This is the story of the kids that in the shadow of South Beach. And right there, where on the same corners where they're filming First 48, is hope. You know, first grade is like a generic question. What do you want to be when you grow up? And he's like, oh, you know, like the dude who collects cans in the neighborhood and then like trades them in for money? He's like, that's what I want to do. And I was like, oh, like a garbage man? He's like, no, not a garbage man. Like, you know, the dude, he like gets the cans and stuff and then like trades them in for money. I was like, yeah. And I like went home and I was like that like stuck with me. And that was 10 years ago. I know the kid too. He told me that and I was like, that's your sense of possibility? Like that's your ceiling? Like I asked you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You didn't tell me an astronaut. You didn't tell me a firefighter or a police officer. You told me you want to be the dude who like collects cans. Like that's your sense of possibility. And like that story always stuck with me. It's like what do the kids see like in their neighborhood as like a sense of possibility, and like how could we broaden their sense of themselves and like what they could become, and also just like what's out there in the world. When you got here this morning, I told you the last night on the news, 4 kids, or 4 people got shot right by Destiny's house, and one of them was a 13-year-old. And so, like, you know, that hits close when it's a younger person, because you're like, damn, that's like probably one of my former students. Cyborg and I have been talking about wanting to start a project like this for a long time. You know, we had helped one student. What if we could do it for a whole group of kids? And so I passed out the applications, and then once I passed those out, then I know it's like there's no turning back. Like you told the kids you were gonna do something, now you have to do it. Like now you gotta follow through. So once I passed those out, then I was like, all right, well, what are the big things? I need mats and I need uniforms. You know what I mean? And gis, like, yo, gis are expensive. I just started sending letters. I was like, I don't know, let's just take a shot. I got like either no response or like some lukewarm response, and Storm was the only one. Storm was like, this sounds really cool, like tell me more.
Ryan like works on one of the roughest neighborhoods here in Miami called Liberty City. Ryan and I, always talked about it. We always wanted to somehow been able to help kids, less fortunate kids, to actually have access to Jiu-Jitsu, and somehow being able to help the community through Jiu-Jitsu.
We got in contact. We did like a FaceTime video, Dean and I, and he was like, this is awesome, like I'm on board, whatever you need. You know, and from like that day on, you know, we haven't had a bigger supporter in terms of like, anything I ask for is there, like 2-day shipping. But he also came to like meet the kids. He was like, I want to see where this is going. So like he's been to multiple practices. He knows the kids know him. You know, he did it sight unseen. You know, he just did it based on an email and an idea, and later he was able to come out and see the kids. But like the generosity and like compassion he showed, I'm like forever like really grateful. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You got to be locked in the whole time. You got to be confident, right? Confident. You can beat anybody in this gym. Finish your shots, right? Shoot through the hips. Pressure. Hey, pressure. Doesn't have to be a million shots, but it's got to be level changing. It's got to be walking him down, getting his face. D2. On the bottom, right? You can't get turned. You're going to stay strong on the bottom. You already know. Everything you got, right? You can beat anybody in this gym. Stay focused. Finish your shots. You too, right? Believe. Don't be afraid to take those shots. You got nothing to lose. Right? Everybody's here to work and get better. Let's go, get your hands in. Let's go. Hands in. Let's go. Ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. 1, 2, 3. that grapple. Put it.
Ryan is someone that I have no words to describe how amazing of a teacher he is. I have no even words to explain the way he embraced the project. Like, he carries the kids under his arms 24/7. Literally, like, his life, since we opened the project, his life just is around the kids. If you talk to him, the only thing he can talk about is the project. You know what I mean? The only thing he vibrates on is the project.
It's an all-day, everyday thing. It's almost as if we don't think about it being a separate part of our life, and having to dedicate time to it is just a part of what we do on a daily basis.
We're about 2 years down the road right now. The kids have won any major title there is in the world of jiu-jitsu and wrestling, actually. So Ryan never wrestled before, but for the kids, he started studying wrestling, and now the kids win every state championship there is in wrestling. And whenever the coaches come, it's like, where do they wrestle from? They said they don't wrestle, they do jiu-jitsu. And we're like, but how is that? It's like, no, we come from jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, like, Ryan never did wrestling before. He just learned on his own, and like, the kids are just destroying out there, you know what I mean? Like, they just have so much passion in them. They have so much love in them. Like, their drive is just out of this world, you know what I mean? And they're making it happen.
Despite everything that's told to them about their neighborhood, despite every challenge they have in their neighborhood, it's like they keep coming. And like, I don't see that as a negative for our kids. Like, I see that as a positive. My kids will outwork and outgrind you. Like, I'm sorry, like, your easy life, it's nice, but like, they're gonna keep coming. You know what I mean? And when things get hard in life, if they've given the right opportunities in the right direction, that grit that my kids have, like, that's priceless.
I'm just way too lit for this. All I ever wanted was a handful of hundreds. All I ever needed was a girl who could see it. Gold on my neck, boy, I ain't tryna flex, but I'm shining so hard, even blind people see it. Stepping out the wagon, 200,000. Bright red paint, got it looking like a dragon. That's what you get from a hard dead trapping. I'm lit, minute sauce just splashing. Don't that shit sound familiar? Lame ass rhymes, these rap dudes deliver. Can't trust y'all, I stay locked familiar. Knock down walls, break down the pillars, hands to the ceiling. Hands in the air, spread that wealth on them bands everywhere. Material chitting on royalties. This baby, I'ma shoot gold in your hair. Turn everything.
You go to fight, like, I don't have to worry about like, oh, the spotlight, or they're gonna give up, or they're gonna do this. You know what I mean? You know, this is a story about the kids that in the shadow of South Beach, and right there, we're on the same corners where they're filming First 48. It's hope. You know what I mean? It's hard work. Like, it's beautiful things. I get like emotional when I think about them.
So the elementary school the kids attend is right here across the street, Holmes Elementary, and then, I mean, the overwhelming majority of my kids stay right here in the Liberty Square housing project. So that's all, like, it's a really community school. Everybody walks to school. We don't have any buses. Nobody takes a bus to school. There's no school buses. Everybody walks, you know what I mean, and everybody stays. I mean, everybody's neighbors, pretty much.
My name is Charles Williams. I am a former resident of Liberty Square, the Pork and Bean Projects, a young man that has overcome great adversity. Never been a part of a gang, but I've seen some great and harsh circumstances, drive-bys, things of that nature, drugs sold, family members and relatives and friends that have been addicted to drugs, been incarcerated. I've lost friends to prison, federal prison, state prison. Liberty Square is one of the oldest housing projects in America. And what happened was people were put there, of course, for low-income housing. And my first week living in the projects, there was a drive-by underneath my window. The gang that committed that murder was wanted by the federal government. The gang was on this show called America's Most Wanted, whereas now you would have the more popular show being the First 48, in which in fact we were on the very first episode of First 48. A friend of mine was murdered on the very first episode. His name is Charles Brady. They don't care who they shoot. They don't care who, they rob. They don't care who they're stealing from. I saw someone's brains knocked out at a very early age. I might have been in the 5th grade at that time, where I saw someone's brains literally knocked out of their head. A gentleman was laying in the parking lot, and his brains were leaking out of his head, white and leaky, and a lot of blood. And I remember my mother trying to, get me away from seeing what I saw, but I mean, that image is forever etched in my memory.
Yeah, so this wall they tore it down a little bit now, but it used to separate, my understanding of it is that it used to separate like the black side of town and the white side of town. So it's kind of trippy sometimes to see the kids like walk on it on their way to school and be like, they don't even realize, you know what I mean, like what that wall signifies, the segregation in Miami's history. And if you look at the housing project now, like not a whole lot of that segregation has changed, you know what I mean? Like Miami's still, for as multicultural of a city as it is, Miami's still super segregated. And coming from California,
I know that there's not really an urgency by the police departments and the coroners to come and clean up a scene. So I've, walked to school in the morning and seen crime scenes or dead bodies in the street that haven't been covered up yet. But there's police tape around. In proximity, Liberty Square and Holmes Elementary is a stone's throw away. It goes without saying that all of the kids out of Liberty Square going that route, they see the same things. They have to walk from their homes. And let's be honest, school is an escape for a lot of young people. At times, teachers aren't, they aren't compensated well enough because sometimes they're babysitters. They're dealing with issues that, are compiled over a time that haven't been addressed. And sometimes when a child has reached, elementary age, maybe 5th grade, they've seen so much that they're broken.
It's true. It's reality, like what you see on First 48, because Liberty City's on First 48 all the time. So like that is a reality of Liberty City, but it's not like the entire reality. But it's real. Like I have kids at my school who have been shot. And you're in elementary school, you've been shot. I've had kids in the past shot. Like one year, a little girl got shot in the elbow with an AK-47. An elementary age student. So like we have that side, like that definitely does exist, and that's what gets kind of portrayed a lot in the media. But we also have like, amazing sides too. We have a chess club. They did awesome at their like most recent competition. We have kids that we're sending to, the top schools in the state as well. So just like there's both sides, it is important to understand like the reality that our kids deal with and how it's different than maybe some other neighborhoods. But that's also not like the entire story. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Our kids see stuff, our kids have seen stuff at an elementary age that like as an adult, 36 years old, I haven't seen. Whether that's someone like die on their porch or, from a gunshot or things like that. Our school is, unfortunately, it's something we're working on. It's one of the lowest performing 300 schools in the state. So with my kids, I let them know, like, if it gets back to me that you got in a fight in school, there's some kind of issue, I better know that you did everything you could to avoid the fight. That you talked to an adult, that you tried to walk away. If you had no other choice than to fight, like, I understand. Like, I live in reality. I know that you might have to defend yourself sometimes if someone puts their hands on you in a way that threatens you. But I was a kid, I also understand that sometimes there's no other, like, you have to fight, you know what I mean? Or you have to defend yourself at least. So that's kind of how we deal with that. You can't be on my team and wear this shirt and be out on the courtyard doing that kind of stuff, because then you make me look bad and you make my team look bad. You sure it's something you want to do? So if I give you a paper, you're gonna fill it out, have mom fill it out and bring it back to me? What do you mean? She's gonna help you fill it out. Miss Beth will help you fill it out too. Okay? All right, come on. Well, this year we've been good. We haven't really had any fights. For the most part, I feel like the kids get a lot of that energy out in practice, and then also have that confidence where they don't feel like they have to prove something. You know what I mean? They are confident in their ability to defend themselves and stuff like that, so they don't really feel like they have to do that outside. So that it's been good this year, knock on wood.
has been quiet. We haven't really had major fights. Completely filled out. If there's a blank box, I'll get rid of it, right? Fill it completely out. Your signature, your parents' signature, you bring it back to me. After you bring this back to me, I'm going to talk to mom. After I talk to mom, if I think it's a good match, then I'll give you the other paperwork that she needs to sign, all right? Put this in your backpack. Don't lose it. It's yellow for a reason, so you can't lose it. I'm not going to give you another one. This is the only one I'm giving you. So if you come to me tomorrow and say I lost it, then that shows me that you're not responsible and that you don't really, really, really want to be part of the team. Because if you really wanted to be part of the team, you wouldn't lose it, all right? So treat it like gold. That's why it's this color. It's gold. It's a golden ticket. All right? Put it in your book bag, go to class.
Good job.
Have the fifth graders?
Yeah, like 2 fifth
Who?
graders. Like, let's get papers and just give it to some people.
Who you want?
Like,
You want to get at somebody in fifth grade, huh?
Yeah, that person.
Who?
Beat that boy.
Who are you trying to get at in fifth grade?
At Holmes Elementary School, we have a diverse population of boys and girls. And for the most part, our children come from an area that most would call economically depressed. But beyond that, there is a huge sense of hopelessness, I find, in certain parts of our community. And I think the jiu-jitsu team does a marvelous job of exposing our boys and girls to opportunities. Jiu-Jitsu started about 1.5 years ago, and it's amazing. The boys and girls who've been involved in the program have been, in my opinion, displaying discipline in the classroom, just a sense of well-being, a sense of calmness, a sense of I know what my purpose is in life. And you may say, well, how can engaging in the art of jiu-jitsu improve someone's outlook? And they do that because they tend to stand out. They are well disciplined. They do tend to do well in class on the whole. And it's just great to see that Mr. Jardine, as he's worked with them, they've learned just the art of being children who care about their future.
You already know, the only answer I should hear is the answer that Willow gives me.
No.
No, what does Willow say about her? Who's Willow's boyfriend?
Oh, the books.
The books.
Heaven. My
Willow
girlfriend.
says my boyfriend's the books.
My girlfriend. My boyfriend.
That's what she told me. Your girlfriend's the what? Hot chips.
No, you.
Loving on those hot chips.
Mine is the hot dog.
That's true. He is the #1 hot dog eater.
To see the work and to see the love that he pours into it, and to know that he does it without anyone having to like give him anything in return, or for the acknowledgement that might come from the accomplishments that the kids make. It's not about that for him. It's about just seeing kids thrive and having some part of that. I don't know if Ryan really knows that. Just like how many people really, really look up to him and watch him. He doesn't do it for the show, you know? Like, he does it because that's what he loves, and he loves kids, and everything that he does is about kids.
Willie, tap. You gonna tap? No. You gonna tap, Willie?
No.
Okay, go, Kendrick. Go, Kendrick. Keep
Tap,
No. Go. You're gonna tap, Willie. You're gonna learn the hard way. Go.
No. But this tap, bro. That'd be stupid. Let's go, man.
Willie, you gotta look. You have to tap, man. You're gonna get hurt. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. You've been getting away with yelling and me stopping it for you and then saying to him, I never tapped. That's what you do. You wait, you scream, and I stop it, right? And then you tell him I didn't tap. He had it deep. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Well, Mr. J, he's my second father. He's like caring. He care about us a lot. I could count on him. I trust him. I trust him actually more than my father. And he's like a great person. Like, his personality is awesome.
He's just always been there for me, so like it's kind of hard to explain like what he means to me, because he means so much that I don't have like words big enough to express my feelings towards him. I was that kid that fought a lot, that I would fight like every day, and like every time he would go in the office, he would like see me like sitting there like with my head down and stuff, all mad, fist balled up, and he'd be like, man, what happened again? Like, why are you always in here? And then I'd be like fighting again, the usual. It got to a point where I was fighting so much they tried to send me to like an alternative school or a special school. And then like my teacher was like talking to him and stuff. And we're like, yo, like, like the kid is not dumb and stuff, and I was like, oh, like, he's a good kid. Like something's just wrong with him. Like at that point, like something was like my father just got incarcerated. Like I was going through like a rough time, you know, and like my mother's not around. A lot of like things.
And like I was a bad kid. Like I could relate to Al. Man, Al was like bad kids. We had like bad attitude problems.
Fight a lot.
Because like our dads, our fathers, it was not really around. Like you could like see like Mr. J, Al, Destiny, like me. Like our fathers, our fathers not really around. Like to help us like be a good person, or just like to tell us from right or wrong. So when I saw Mr. J, he'll just tell me to be a leader, be good, like every time when I get in trouble, he was just like I could see in his face like he mad at me because he want me to do great in life.
So a program like Grapple, like you mentioned, would be beneficial to the youth because they need an outlet. They need something outside of just coming home from school. And this is the problem with our youth. We get in the young people get in the most trouble when they have idle time on their hands. So when they have this idle time, basically this is the most opportune time for them to get in trouble. So a program that focuses on martial arts, jiu-jitsu, things of that nature, it gives them a different alternative. It gives them a different mindset. They don't have to just focus on football or basketball or singing or dancing and things of that nature. Growing up and being a man, understanding the pressures of being a man and the responsibilities of being a man, you want to provide. And at times, the pressure to provide will cause you to want to expedite, the experience. So wanting to sit in school for 12 years and going on to possibly getting a college degree wasn't always appealing to everyone. And let's just be honest, sometimes you mimic what's around you. So in seeing, guys with the cars, guys with the jewelry, guys with the women, you don't necessarily believe that that's going to come from a 9-to-5 job, but you understand that you can make $3,000, in a couple of hours if you have the right product. What I want young people in Liberty City to understand, and the Liberty Cities across the world, whether it be Compton, whether it be Chicago, which is, nicknamed Chirac, wherever young people may be growing up, I want young people to understand that they can overcome these adverse circumstances. You're looking at a man that has faced a number of years in prison, but by the grace of God, I have never seen the inside of a prison cell. I've seen many handcuffs and many holding cells. But when you place your mind on something greater than your circumstance, I myself, I'm a first-generation college student. I made it out of high school, graduated, and I'm a first-generation college student. That's something to aspire towards. So I encourage young people to chase your wildest imagination, chase your dreams, think outside of the box. Don't be confined to the barriers or the limitations of society, but realize that there are people that look like you. There are people that have been in your circumstance, and they've broken the mold.
When I started doing jiu-jitsu, I could see that jiu-jitsu would help me out. And every day, even in the summer, I would come early with my brother Destiny because we really want to do jiu-jitsu.
But we love jiu-jitsu.
I
still do.
Yeah, I still love jiu-jitsu.
You can't take away jiu-jitsu, but it's in my heart already.
Yeah, because we would just lay down, I should remember them days. We would just lay down and just talk about how can we do the moves and stuff. And when Mr. J comes, he'll be like, oh, y'all should come early. And yeah, I know. And we never miss a day.
We never miss a day.
If you miss a day, it's emergency. I never miss a day. Only the day I miss is when my stepfather, to see when he in prison.
Yeah, so the main thing with Project Grapple, you know what I mean, is in fight sports that we don't really want this project just for ourselves. What the leading point of this is actually being an inspiration for other gyms out there, all over the world, to actually inspire themselves on our projects and actually go out there and fund social projects and build social projects around the world to actually have the same results as we have here. You know what I mean? What we're doing so far is just gathering all the numbers and getting everything ready so we can have the opportunity of giving this information out there so other gyms and other business can actually do the same as we're doing.
It sounds like cliche and it seems like over the top, but like, shit, we might save like a kid's life, you know what I mean? Like, for real. Or just like change the way the kids like think of themselves or like what their opportunities are. Sometimes it hits me like when I, like at weird times when I like am pulling back and kind of seeing like the program and seeing just the experience and like thinking of all the kids that went through the program or the kids that I've come in contact with over the past 10 years and kind of seeing like just thinking about those kids and like everything they overcome and like how people make excuses all the time for reasons not to do stuff or you know what I mean? I don't know, it's a trip. Like they're such resilient kids. They're such like awesome people. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're like special kids. It's cool, man. I appreciate this. Like, I get emotional because the kids like they deserve like for their story to be told, and it's like it's really cool.